but we have another show lined up. We've got Jerome Corsi coming on over on Truth Finders, so I'm going to have to leave. But I just wanted to say this in closing. Last time I spoke to you, Drake, I was, I actually wanted to believe that mass arrests were going to be made and we would have a peaceful resolve to all this. Now I hear you talking about surrendering, and they're surrendering and making deals with the devil. I am 100%, you have lost my support for one. And I apologize to be that blunt, and I'm being as nice as I can because I do not want to disrespect the other networks or the other shows. But my chat room and all of the listeners that have tuned into the show, you're asking them to go on a faith-based, and they're not giving us anything, and we don't have anything to show or to defend or to understand. This is really pissing off a lot of patriots, Drake, and this is just, you have lost so much trust in the community and with the listeners here. You've just done a 180 on everybody, and we don't even know if we can trust you or talk to you or understand what's going on. And everybody is sitting here pissed off and just spinning because they've listened to you, they followed you, and they don't understand why you would be doing this. And you're talking about allowing the puppeteers to still remain control. I don't understand, and I know that Paul and Gina are going to be doing the show on Saturday morning to help address and help understand this. So for all of our lovely listeners over on Truth Finders Network, if you're up Saturday morning, Gina and Paul will be having a morning show to talk about all this. But I've got to go. I've got to make way for the next show. So I'm out. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, Gina. Dragon, that lady, I'm not too sure about you. And Drake, please, you know how to contact me. But I've got to. All right, I will talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay.
And the bad boys have had their tunnel system blown up.
Jumped in for a while, but I'm a pastor in a small church, and
So, Paul, have we got other questions?
Yeah, you've got one. You've got one trying to ask you right now.
Okay.
I'm a pastor in a small church in Maryland, and I went through the whole thing about getting people together and the community thing and so on. And you're asking for us to do a polling, which I'm not opposed of. I think it's a good idea. But my question is, what kind of numbers are we looking at that's going to be sufficient for them to think that they're going to be safe enough to do so? And then with the outcry from looking at the chat rooms and so on and so forth, it's like maybe 30% might be leaning towards doing the polls, and the other percent is like no, totally rather die than do this. What is the cabal going to be looking for in terms of numbers from the masses, considering that it's a very limited amount of people that's going to be doing this, because 300 million Americans, and they're not going to be voting on this?
Well, I'm going to put it out to the 300 million Americans in a way that is not easily ignored. As soon as the page is set up. And I have, as I told you before, press contacts, and I intend to put this on my website, and I intend to offer the same through other websites so that people will be aware that they can or have the opportunity to express themselves as to whether they want to go full-fledged war with against our own military, whether they want to put this to rest permanently, which will take a little bit of time in terms of what I've had to offer on these. That's basically what I intend to do. The numbers, the actual physical numbers, are not important. What they look at is the ratios as to yay, nay, go, or stay. And personally, my feeling is that if somebody has an intelligent take on things, I believe that this is the better alternative to an all-out shooting revolution. Mm-hmm. Whether somebody likes that idea very well, I mean, yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah, we're putting things together that sound like we're making a big compromise. But if you actually look at what is being offered, there is no compromise, other than that these people can breathe, and some of them ain't going to be, and they know this. They know some of them are going to be executed.
I'm with you in this. I mean, I'm not against what you're talking about. I'm just looking in terms of what I need to convey to everyone that I need to convey to, in terms that once they do the polling, what's the turnaround time so we get an answer so we know down the road. And I'm not looking for timelines or things like such.
Okay. What I'm looking to try to do is complete this thing on a Saturday. I will contact, after I get the poll numbers, I'll contact some of my personal contacts and see whether or not these people would be willing to accept this. And I should hopefully know by the Sunday show. If not, at the latest by Tuesday. This is the turnaround time I'm looking at. Now, whether that's altogether valid, I'm not sure. But nothing so far has been put in writing, and they've been making suggestions that are ludicrous. They've been asking for some things that no one is capable of giving them, and they're probably testing the waters to see how far it goes and what they can get away with, just like they've always done. So my supposition is that this offers at least a peaceful alternative to an all-out shooting war, and yet also removes their power, and I mean all of it. So my understanding of the good guys in the military, they believe that the military is supporting them. And in fact, they've already lost about 80% plus. So you have to understand that, and then you have to look at the other part of it, that if this goes, they'll probably send everybody home, cancel.
Okay, now we've got about 5 minutes left of the program. We've got about 5 minutes left of the program, and I'd like to get as many questions in as we possibly can. So let's do the rapid fire 5 minute countdown. Please limit your question to about 30 seconds to a minute, and let's please limit the answer to about a minute so we can get as many questions in the few minutes that we've got left. Go ahead.
I just want to say really quick that Lady Dragon needs to make sure hers has the bandwidth to handle the traffic that it's going to get, or it'll just crash and we'll all be crazy. Thanks.
Okay.
Drake, can you comment on the ancient rights of discovery?
That goes to the basis of most law. Excuse me. It also goes to the basis right of possession, and the understanding of the two in combination that allows us to be who we are as people, irrespective as to where we are. That's the only comment I'll give on that. Next.
God bless you.
How do we know that we can trust these people?
We don't. And the reason that
we turn around and just do the same thing that they've been doing all along.
Well, that's because they are asking for the surrender. They're offering to surrender. That's the difference. That's a big differential. They're up against the wall, as I stated before. And in that particular sense, what they would like to do is get out of this as without as any damage to themselves or their family, and that's what they're looking at.
Who gives their enemy the right to negotiate their surrender?
Say that again?
Who gives their enemy the right to negotiate their own surrender?
That's why I've added some things that they're not expecting because they made some unreasonable propositions, and I do not agree with the idea altogether, but as I said, they're trying to preserve a little bit, specifically their own good health, and there's no right involved other than we have a choice, either all-out war or peaceful negotiations. Next question.
Hey, Jerry? Jerry?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I go ahead?
Yes.
Yes.
If somebody's already paid off their mortgage and they own their house, will they get the interest back from their mortgage, that extra interest they paid in?
That's a good question. I'm not privy to all of the absolute finance, so I can't answer that question. There are people who have much better knowledge of that than I do, who will be involved in these negotiations if they accept these points that I'm offering. Next question.
Okay.
Drake, I have a question.
I want to know if this goes down and they do make a deal, and I understand they are ready for war. We understand that. But I want to know, is Obama and all of these cronies that are in the government, except for Ron Paul, that's the only one that we really know, or Rand Paul, are they going to survive? Are they going to still be in office? Because if that's
no, you're going to have an extraordinary change in government simply because of the 13th Amendment, let alone the fact that the power reverts to the people, and the people have the say in who is or is not holding an office correctly. Next question.
Drake?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm a former Marine, Vietnam era, and I was enlisted, and I'm trying to imagine how the current enlisted man is going to stand up against officers that are telling him to do something. I mean, the 80% you talk about concerns me because generally, from my recollection, the enlisted man is pretty much going to do what he's told.
You need to look at the archives. I did an addressment of the troops.
Oh, I've heard it. Yeah.
Okay, well, what that does is that addresses the manner in which a person can stand down from an order that they do not consider lawful.
Mm-hmm.
And pay attention to it. Now, we did a stand down in Vietnam at gunpoint. We told the man, no, we're not going to kill our friends. We knew these people in this ville. They wanted us to destroy, and we told them no. And pointed our guns at these people who wanted to do it. And they decided it wasn't a good idea. Suddenly, the orders changed.
Right.
So this is something that needs to be understood. And this was not the only incident.
Okay.
The feedback you're getting from, from the military, the 80% you're referring to, do you have a sense of how deep that goes as far as through the ranks and into the enlisted men?
Yeah, it was run up the flagpole. It has circulated in memo form at the Joint Chiefs level.
Okay. With that, we're out of time. I want to
Where do we
remind,
get a replay?
Where you can get the replay at globalvoiceradio.net. And the replay will be available immediately after the show. There will be a follow-up program on this that where the results of the straw poll, the voting, will be released and talked about. That will be this Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time until 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock Eastern. 1 to 3 Eastern. This has been an extraordinary program, absolutely positively. This has been a Global Voice Network Drake and Company program that was up until a few minutes ago simulcast on the Truth Finders Network, www.truthfindersnetwork.com.